So this next thing is like a little, it's a little stupid, little weird. We all know that people are very, very much hoping for a PC version of Bloodborne. People are like, oh, Bloodborne even just at 60 frames would be great. And people now are at the point where they are so like hungry for this that they are looking for it anywhere they can find it. Okay. One of the things, so Lance McDonald tweeted this out. He said, Bloodborne, the old Hunter's Edition, running on PC, spotted. 14,000 likes, seen by over 1 million people. What's described here is that in the Bloodborne fandom wiki, there are oil urns, pictures of oil urns. Okay, let's see if we can find this. Oil urns, Bloodborne wiki. This. Okay, this is what he's talking about, this picture. They were contributed to the wiki by Marcos Domenech, an environment artist at From Software. The screenshots were taken using the Windows build of Bloodborne, which is presumably why they're of a higher resolution, higher quality. Okay. Whatever. They go on. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much. Let's see. Blood or Tears of the Kingdom critique in the works. Yes, it is, slowly but surely. I'm guessing it's going to take a little bit to get out because the baby's due early June, and so we're getting down to the wire. So I'm trying to get the Star Wars one out before, and then I'll probably be working on the Tears of the Kingdom critique while baby is here. Once baby's here, I would guess. Most artists use the PC build of Bloodborne for their work, but Marcus's screenshots are taken using the actual full retail version of the game running on Windows, not an early Project Beast era build. You can tell by the loading icon in the corner. So Marcos probably has the full game. This word probably is doing a lot of heavy lifting. The full version of the game running on PC. Insane. The screenshots are named SPRJ-WIN64. Which is the file name convention the game uses when you take a screenshot in the debug menu. They're also clearly taken using the debug camera, which is why no one had access, or which no one had access to until I released my patch like a month ago. The screenshots are from Fishing Hamlet, so it's literally full game plus DLC on PC. So interesting. Interesting. Okay. Now, what does this even mean? Well, it literally just means that people are saying that he has a version, like a test build of the game or a development build of the game running on PC, and that probably means that the game can run on PC, which means that we might eventually get the game on PC. I think is what's being said here. Goes on, I've mentioned that I've seen Bloodborne running on Windows 7 before in a private setting, and that was super early build from around May 2014. This is the first time I've seen the full game plus DLC. Still not like we're ever getting our hands on it. This is from years ago. I only just noticed today. I think a lot of people thought I was lying when I said Bloodborne already runs on PC. The dev team were using it regularly, but if you wanted actual proof, there you go. I mean, my understanding, and maybe I'm just totally misunderstanding what he's describing, but my understanding is that technically, like, depending on how you define this, most of these games, they run on PC during development, and then they are repackaged and moved into containers and frameworks that run on the consoles or are optimized specifically for the consoles. In some ways, like, it's very rudimentary, but like you could say that even the versions of the game that are played on PC are emulated versions of the console game, right? And like if you watch any of these development logs of the games, like you could point to this stuff and be like, oh, you see, God of War was running on PC all these years before the PC version because they're playing this on a PC. And it's like, yeah, but it's like they're in development, and then they get test or the dev kits. I don't know if that was one. Is Is this what the dev kit looked like? I don't think that's the dev kit. I think the dev kit's somewhere else. In some of these shots, you can see the PS4 dev kits they have on their desks, but then they like load the game onto the dev kit and then they play it off of the dev kit. But that sometimes is necessary, sometimes it's not. A lot of the time, like they can actually run it off of the PC as well, just in a sort of emulator type of thing within the engine. But I don't know how useful it is. Like I think you can just see like the, was that the dev kit? I don't know. I'm hunting for mysteries here, but like you can see the game running all over the place. It's just funny. However, all this to say, like he mentions, it's not to say that we'll ever get our hands on it. Just because they have a development build running on PC does not mean that that build is anywhere near release ready. It's not to say it runs well at all. It might be like a totally stuttery mess. It might, like, you just never know until you get your hands on it. Because obviously if it's used for development, it doesn't really matter how polished it is or how refined it is. It really doesn't matter. And what's funny is the community seems to also be a little less than impressed with this kind of clickbait. Bloodborne PC leaks going so hard that we have wrapped back to dev builds. Which is basically what this is. It's likely that the PC build is just used internally to test the game so they don't have to constantly compile and run it on PlayStation dev kits. And this is, yeah, this is my understanding of how a lot of this tends to work. So Jaffe was right all this time. I don't see what I know a lady who says Bloodborne is going to get a remaster one day has to do with Bloodborne has an internal PC build that was never planned for public release, but okay. And yeah, it just seems like everybody, I'm glad to see that the fanboyism and the excitement has not like corrupted the minds of people, and they can still see, yeah, this probably isn't anything that significant. At this point, it's personal. Yeah. To be clear, he's not saying it comes to the public. Yeah, just knowing it, Bloodborne on PC is out there. It's real. We have the technology. That was never the question. It was just, it screams to me there's some licensing deal, because I think they would print money if they ever did it, but it just makes me wonder. I would love to see Bloodborne on PC and PS5, but I think we'll never get that. I mean, maybe one day we'll get a PS5, like 60 FPS patch or something. It makes so much sense for them to do it that at this point, not doing it to me suggests that there's a reason they can't do it. And that's probably a licensing thing. And we don't know what the licensing licensing deal is behind closed doors for obvious reasons. Like, we don't have the paperwork. We can't read the contracts. PlayStation owns the trademark for Bloodborne, but that's not to say that FromSoft could have signed some paperwork saying that they are the ones that have to handle in-house any future projects with the franchise. Because after we know Dark Souls 2, apparently Hidetaka Miyazaki was not that thrilled with Dark Souls 2's development and how they handled that. And so apparently he was pissed enough about it that it's been speculated, which basically means people have just made up and theorized, that potentially for Bloodborne he signed a deal that would make it so they have to be involved in any future projects related to Bloodborne. And clearly they're working on other stuff. They're working on Armored Core, and then they're probably shifting, and who knows, maybe they're doing Elden Ring 2 after that. Who knows? They're also doing the DLC, right? So it's going to be interesting. He took my thing.